people might just want to just like type words and then just get things. I tried my idea again. Something just changed. It was like, wait, this is a game now. Theory behind every app you've ever used. I copied Gas app for like 3 months. So as soon as I make something, I try to show it. It helps me go faster. But you gotta get stuff out every day. Whatever is on TryMulti.ai, I built it in a day. But I'm making it AI generated, like end to end. Gen AI is gonna like create the metaverse. Games are gonna be like the big thing. When Farza was like, you should do games, I was like, yeah, I should.
This is Matthew. Hello everyone and welcome. We're in the third week of the Nights and Weekends Season 5, and today we have our new guest, and this is Matthew. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I would like to know, like, what are you working on, like, these days? I know it's like been like 3 weeks, and I would like to hear, like, with your words, what is like these things you're building?
Yeah, right now I just came out of an all-nighter because I had some stuff that was due for work, and I really want to launch today so I can be like considered for the grant. And you know, technically I could just like do wait list and that would be a launch, but Barza says that like whatever you choose for your people, you know, you want to keep it for the rest of the season, and I don't want to be on a wait list for the rest of the season. So I'm trying to get something out there. I've gotten some things out there, but they break each time I do it. So I got really lucky because I pivoted. So I just like flushed all my code down the toilet. So I had an excuse to like get rid of code, but now I'm gonna actually build it again, and it has to work this time.
So you're saying you're starting over from this, like almost from the scratch?
Kinda. I mean, I have all my code, I've built this, like I've built what I'm making about 4 different times. Each time I wasn't, you know, it's funny. I wasn't exactly sure what I was building each time. I just knew that I knew what problem I was solving. I just didn't really know what I was building each time. And like, so yeah, right. So I'm building like a tool that lets you build software with words, but just for games this time.
Can I just jump, like you said, you're building the software, like the app to build the software with words. And
Yeah.
so I want to maybe like jump back to the beginning when you started it with the idea and with your slide, which you posted. And if it's okay, I will read it right now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So it says like build software with words. Go to TryMulti.ai and tell the agents what you want them to build. Watch them build it in real time. Up to you if you want to help them. This was 2 weeks ago, right? And their idea is still the same nowadays.
The idea is still the same. The execution is different. So I niched down on games. That's the first thing. Is I have a niche now because I'll get into the tech later. But yeah, that was actually not even the first post. That was like one of the iterations. But I'm still using agents. The goal is still to let you interrupt them and like maybe even help them. But that last part, helping them, is up for debate because it depends if people know how to code. I actually experimented with adding like I built out some UI that would like let you like handle the agents, and it got a little like confusing, you know, like it's too much going on. I feel like people might just want to just like type words and then just get things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like for example, if it's like some kind of website and I see that the button over here and I want it to be on the left, or maybe like multiply them and just say it with the words, and I want their agent to do that, right?
Yeah. So the reason I came up with that post though is because I was trying to figure out how to like execute the idea that I posted, because the original idea was just build software with words. It was very vague. So I was trying to figure it out. and I was going about it building a multi-agent framework. And I built out some UI that lets me control them, stop them, give them tasks, give them like parents and childs and stuff. So that's where the idea came from. That post that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Then I know something interesting happened, like on the week 2, as far as I remember, you got on the live stream of the build space. And then like right after that, like I saw the post on the Twitter, games AI online. So what happened on this moment? Like,
so on the stream, they recommended that I niche down. Turning on my monitor because I like the light. They recommended that I niche down into games, and I had already wanted to do games for a very long time. It was actually the idea that I thought I was going to apply the nights and weekends with. My original idea that I was going to apply was here. I can actually here, if you don't mind, I can actually just pull up the landing page for it. Because I built a landing page like one night, just hypothetically, just to kind of like just get the vibes for it. Let me show you.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what I did. Build games in the browser by describing them. Like I legit made this before nights and weekends.
I think this is like really interesting, like gem to hear about like evolution of this idea. And if you will like spotlight and highlight, it would be like really amazing.
Yeah, I can talk about it. It's basically like I started off with, okay, so so I was into AI before GPTs were popular. I dropped out of school actually in 2022 because I wanted to make a calendar app that would automate your tasks. I felt that if you kept going down that path, you would have an AI. Like I didn't that you and I like tried to make it where you would interface with it with natural language. Like you would say schedule this at this time and it would do it for 5 hours, blah blah blah. But I didn't know about GPT at the time. It was just GPT-3. I didn't know about that at the time. You know, this is the interesting part. I mean, it's kind of sad. But like, you know, my dad ended up passing away, and I realized I was in over my head. I had dropped out of like the most prestigious engineering school in the United States, and I was like, what am I doing? So I went back to school, and I went to school in Austin. I'm in Austin right now. So Austin is a huge entrepreneurship city. So I took a bunch of entrepreneurship classes. I got involved. I became a teaching assistant. I started mentoring people, helped the accelerator, and that's where I met a bunch of people. And I tried my idea again. And this time I did it with a map where you could like visualize your day and routines. And one day I was fucking around and I was like, let me just change it to a 3D map because Mapbox lets you do that. And something just changed. It was like, wait, this is a game now. And so I spent like 4 months just straight up building, which is, you know, bad. You're not supposed to do that.
But we know only today about this. This is like sharing and like exposing your ideas for feedback is a good thing.
What's that?
I mean, like you said, it was bad to start building for 4 months without showing this. And I'm saying like, we know only about this today because like the build space telling about this, and also you learned your natural ways through the process.
Yeah.
So, but at the moment it was good, yeah?
It was good, yeah, because, and I would do this thing where I would build something and then I would take it to school and I would show everyone. I would literally go to anybody in the hallway. I would say, what do you think of this? And everyone knew me as this like weird guy that was like building apps. But like it got to the point where people were like actually giving me good advice. They're like, what the fuck is this? What is this for? What do you do with the map? How do you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And eventually it turned into like, yeah, this is a game. It'd be cool if you could actually walk around, have an avatar, dress them up, see your friends in real time, host things. Um, and I was like, how do I do this? So I was like in over my head. So I'm still in school, like it's hard, because you have to juggle everything. And I decided to kind of like downgrade my idea to like a 2D social media. And that's where things started kind of going wrong. Because like I ended up making basically an event discovery app, which is like the most basic idea everyone ever tries. Because because I basically took all the events on the map and then just put them on a feed, and then we threw a party though.
So it was already like the second pivot, right? So the first, it was productivity app. Then with new future, it's become the virtual reality map that you say, like you saw the game inside of it. And then another one turned social, like the doom scroll, right? For some kind of pivot.
Yeah.
But all came from for the productivity thing, for like achievements, habits, and daily routines.
Literally. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Because the original idea was I wanted to make Jarvis, and I called it Autopilot. And then I did buildspace season 4, and I changed the idea to be like a Twitter kind of thing, where it was like a private Twitter for your friends. It was all right. It got 100 users, but I wasn't really passionate about it. I ended up graduating. I got a job building apps for companies, and then I built a social app for high schoolers. I don't even know why I did that, honestly. It was just for fun, I guess. And then, but like, once I got out of high school, or once I got out of college, I was out of college for about 4 months, and like my brain started kind of like settling, because you're not like getting like whiplash every day going to school. Like, it was like I would like go to school, have to do shit, and then come home and then have to like grind out my shit. It was just like very like all over the place. And that's where I got into the idea of AI generated content. I started researching like all the articles on A16Z, like Andreessen Horowitz.
Yeah.
And they're like huge. Like I read an article from them in 2020 where they said that Gen AI is going to like create the metaverse. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, so this is all like still going as planned, basically. Because I thought that everyone thought the metaverse was like this like bubble, and then now AI is a bubble, but in fact it's all just connected. It's gonna all come full circle.
You mean like people being talking about this in advance before we saw it, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So like crypto metaverse shit is coming back very soon, and AI is gonna make it like kind of have a vengeance, to be honest. So for a brief moment, I did a lot of like research on like social apps, like Nikita, he made TBH app and Gas app, and like there's like this one thing called status as a service. You should read that article sometime, by Eugene Wei.
Status on the service, I say.
Yeah, status as a service. That is like, it's a really long post. It's like a 3-hour read, but it will explain the theory behind every app you've ever used.
Okay.
The idea is social apps need to have a utility. So like people always say solve a problem, and it's true. But like social apps are not that simple. It's not just solving a problem, but one of the things is solving a problem. And right now we're in an era where AI can solve a lot of problems, and it can enable something like they call it production. Like people can click something. And so in the old days, social apps were like getting really popular because we were allowing people to make videos really fast, photos really fast, posts really fast. So AI is, people need to figure out what can AI make people do really fast, and then you can populate your own network with that. And it's going to start a lot of like bigger companies than Facebook, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry, that was a tangent, but
yeah. And then like, that's what's like enhancement, like for your idea, like, so let's come back to your journey, to your story on this. After making the social app for students, as you said, or college students.
Yeah, for high schoolers. Yeah, I actually made it for high schoolers because Nikita Beer or Beer, however you say it. I copied Gas App for like 3 months. And I like copied all the strategies and everything. Um, and then I just decided to like, I had enough data, like I knew enough, and I was like, okay, something's going on with AIGC, like something's going on with AI generated content. I want to be a part of it. And that's where I came up with the game idea, because games are going to be like the big thing. So, and then the last part is I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I downgraded it to what I know how to do, which is apps. And that's where I started Nights and Weekends.
Nights and Weekends season 5, we say.
Yeah, season 5. Yeah. So when Farza was like, you should do games, I was like, yeah, I should. Like,
from narrowing down, like from your idea, like with the AGI and with this topic status as a service that you have to go into the like games, you didn't know how to go there, and you say like, okay, I will go wider and we'll go for software. And then Farza said, hey, maybe something specific and maybe games. You're like, okay, Dindy, that's mine, right?
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if they thought about it too hard, but it seems like they did intentionally recommend that to me on purpose, because like on my Sage profile, I talk a lot about like metaverse and social. And the other thing is Flutter. I didn't know this, but like I've used Flutter for making over 20 apps, and apparently it's really good for games, 2D games, of course, but like, yeah. So
I know you have some updated slide and it says build software with words only for 2D browser-based games. Describe it and get it in 60 seconds. Use multi-engine to edit, share, and remix your game with friends. And it's already working. You have something that people can try and test, yeah?
Yeah, they can test it out. I'll be honest though, it's not that, it's a toy. Because I had to start over. So whatever is on TryMulti.ai, I built it in a day. The idea is just to kind of like get people's feedback, see how they feel about the games. And I did already, actually. I got some feedback, and so like there's kind of a pivot already. I'm niching down, at least to start, with casual games. Like I'm doing a specific genre of games first.
I tried the toy, and there is like some kind of pre-built presets, but depending on your prompt, it kind of selects which one, like colorates with what you said, and it works. Like I can walk with the character. In some games I can shoot, in some I can jump, and yeah, it's amazing. You said it's like been done in just one day.
Yeah. I just went and found a bunch of games, and then I strapped them together in Flutter, and then I just like, it's like a router basically. But it's not gonna stay like that. That's still too broad. That's like the vision, right? But when I'm actually building it, I have a quote from a guy I work with. At work, we have a non-technical founder, and I guess we have a hard time like being on the same page as her sometimes. And he tells me a lot. We're not going to know how the architecture should look until like the third one. So like, we have different things that we're making, right? And we don't know how we're going to make them like repeatable. So we just need to make a few of them, and then we'll know when we're done. So last night, reason why I stayed up all night is I took Farz's advice. I'm just making a snake game, a simple snake game, but I'm making it AI generated, like end to end. And then I'm going to do the same thing for another type of game and another one. And eventually it'll be more clear how I'm going to do it for all of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot to follow, but I'm hoping to have something. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is just get that snake game fully AI generated, and then have it hosted today, and then that'll be my launch. it'll be very, yeah, it's going to be very like, we went from this big idea and now we're just like, you can only have a snake game, but gotta start somewhere.
Amazing. Cool. I also said that you were collecting feedback already on your toy or on the app. How are you doing that?
Yeah. How am I doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, I made a super base project and then I just hooked it up to my app. And then,
there is some kind of form for the feedback or?
yeah, I just made a little rectangle, where it like has a text field. Here, I'm going to go and show you guys. Just like that. Nope. And then you can be like, I hate it. And then it's like, do you know how to code? No. And then I'm offering people like a free year access. Because I don't know if I'm going to make it free or not, but whoever does this will get it for free for sure.
So like you're collecting feedback just on the forum, like already in your app, like very simple.
Yeah. Because somebody tried it and I wasn't collecting feedback on anything at all. Like I wasn't even saving the prompts that people were making. And then as I didn't think it was going to use it. And then someone on Twitter replied and they were like, this shit is broken. It doesn't work. And then I was like, oh shit, what did you do? And they had to like reply. And I was like, I'm stupid. I should have been collecting data. Like I should have been, then I could know what people want.
Yeah.
So.
So can you hear the feedback works? Some kind of form of like few words and like it will be like really, really valid. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I also like that you are sharing and like spotlighting your journey, your progress on the Twitter at least. Like what led you to doing that move and kind of expose yourself, expose your progress, and how is it helpful? How it made to evolve your projects?
I started doing it because Farza said you need to get into the habit of creating shit, and then as soon as you create something, you share it with the world. And so I literally just like reprogrammed myself. Remember, I'm big into habits, like the whole habit thing I was doing in the very beginning. So as soon as I make something, I try to show it. Right now, I'm not really doing that the past like 24 hours because I'm trying to make a launch and I want to like be considered for the grant. So I don't want to like, make stupid little posts, but after I launch later today, I'll get back to it, making little posts, and I might start doing it on Instagram. It's harder because it's not in my habit, but yeah, it helps me go faster.
We now have the power to inspire someone who will be like listening or watching this, especially like sharing that kind of story of evolution of the idea from one thing to another with pivots, with good ones and with bad ones. And you already have like experience. So what will be like your words to the people who are building or want to start building something they care about?
Yeah. I think I'll just kind of like think about what I would tell myself at the very start. I would tell myself to listen to your gut. Don't listen to people too much. But you gotta get stuff out every day. Like every day. You have to make, as soon as you make something, even if it's like a single line of code, take a picture of it, get it out there. Because at some point you do listen to people, but like, yeah, it's a mixture. Like, so yeah, there's no formula, but the only formula is just to show up every day.
Great.
So.
Thank you. This is what actually you are doing, like not just words, but the amazing example. Okay, then we still on the progress, right? This is only third week, and maybe at this stage, at this current moment, there is something that you want to figure out or get help with.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to build a RAG, retrieval augmented generation app. I have 3 different ways I think I can do it. but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. So I'm just trying to figure that out.
Got it. So thank you for all the stories, like information and inspiring words for people that you share. And if there is something else you would like to share, a highlight that we didn't cover before we wrap?
No, I mean, I literally yapped for like hours about it. So
Yeah. So thank you for coming and sharing your idea, Matthew.
of course. Thanks for having me. I hope everything. I hope you can get a lot of like viewers and yeah, don't stop.
Don't stop. Okay. And like like my expectation that story, like your story, will inspire at least one person to make like the very next move. Thank you for sharing all these things. Have a good week. Waiting for the snake.
Right. See ya.
See you.
This is Matthew.